Hello, my name's Laurie, and today I'm with my friends I'm going to introduce to you in a minute, and we're going to be making this video on relationships. So let me introduce my friend and say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself, Michael.
Hello everyone that's watching. Thank you for the introduction. We just thought we'd create some videos that would explain about things that we've learned from our experiences, and this video is going to be on relationships. So Laurie, what have you learned over your time about relationships and also about how we met?
So what have I learned? Well, I've learned relationships can be rewarding, difficult. I think all of us can agree that we all want to be either in a relationship or having relationships with others. And I met you in London on a March in lockdown. And I suppose I was looking for my tribe, on the people that I could resonate with, that had an awareness or an understanding and wanted to do good in the world. And what I've learned as well, which we all I know to be true, is we do not meet people by coincidences. We say, that was all meant to happen. Everything is meant to happen. So we meet people for a reason, a season, a minute, or a moment. Now, those relationships, they can come. One minute this person can be in your life and you think to yourself, this is the best relationship, whether it be a girl, boy, business, whatever it is, and everything's going great. But then what happens when that relationship turns sour, or we have a disagreement, or it doesn't quite go away? And then sometimes, and I know this has been for me, I found that some people in my life that I thought we would be there together and forever, all of a sudden just gone. They went. There was a situation, an instance, maybe a disagreement. But here's what I've learned as well. Everything was happening for a reason, and those relationships wasn't meant to go on forever. And when I learned the valuable lessons, which wasn't always easy, look, it's not easy to say to yourself, I messed up, or I got it wrong, I could have done better, or we have to reflect. So I was reflecting in my life at times that, how could I be a better person? What role did I play? Did I take responsibility, or was I that person that was a little bit pig-headed, as we could use that term, or was I feeling hurt? Was I feeling disappointed? So I wasn't great growing up at expressing myself. When I felt sad emotions, I wasn't the best at being honest and authentic. This is a skill set I've learned over the years, and especially since becoming a life coach, I've had to learn and understand emotions, thoughts, feelings, and how to do better. It doesn't mean I'm perfect now. No, I still get triggered. I still have these times where I'm emotionally unstable, but it doesn't last long, because it's not long before I use the tools and techniques that I've learned to be able to reflect and really take responsibility for the parts that I played. So we're always going to be in relationships, but how do we continue to navigate and have these relationships where we love, encourage, help, overcome things without judgment or fear or anger issues, and all those emotions don't lead to lasting relationships. Yeah. So, know that, me and Michael meeting each other was all by design. And I'm going to let Michael come in now, and I'm going to ask him, why did he think we met each other? And tell me a bit about the relationships that you've had, and what have you learnt from them, Michael?
Thank you, Laurie. It's amazing. I completely agree with everything you said. Like, I know that God puts people in our lives to teach us certain lessons. you know, like you said, might be short, might be long time, might be forever, you know. But I know that we're here to fix broken relationships. The only thing that really matters in this world is how we treat others, and also by not judging others, because God uses us all in different ways to teach each other lessons about our upbringings, the programming that we have from childhood. You know, you're born into a family which is a bit broken. A lot of families are like that in the world, and you can see. So you get bad programming from when you're young about relationships, because you see people fighting all the time and this and that. But when I was young, I don't know, I just felt different. I looked at the relationships of my family members, of my, you know, early relationships, and there was just a lot of fighting and there was no real encouragement, but I knew there was a better way. And I realised through growing up, there was a point in life where I had lots of different relationships with all different people, and I believed it was about, you know, just having as many relationships as possible and, you know, having fun and this and that. But then what you realise is that you have to it's about the quality of people that are around you as well. It's not just about the quantity. And solitude taught me a lot as well. So when me and you met, like I said, I had a spiritual experience where I knew that we was, you know, I said it to you before, I knew that I knew you somehow. It was like God in me was going, look, Laurie's over there, you've got to go and speak to her. So I can look back on my life and know that everyone that I met, even when the relationships broke down, they all taught me something about life and about people and about also their upbringings, how they perceive things through their experiences. So God was using the different relationships to teach me, you know, how to treat people, and that we are all different and we're all used in different roles. And so I believe that God is trying to teach us that, you know, how do we fix the broken relationships in our life? And our emotions and our mind makes us a lot of the time destroy these relationships. But if you realise that you are not your faults, you know, your mind is not always there to help you. And if we actually look out for each other's needs, because we're all lacking something through life, no one is perfect. So through our relationships, we're actually, like, God put you in my life to teach me certain valuable lessons. And also for us we've learned through, not just through everything being happy all the time, we've actually had really difficult conversations. Like, we've had wars with each other, you know, we've both complained about each other. So it's not always easy, but what you've got to do is let go of, you know, the identity of who you are. Just allow God to help you to fix the relationships you're in. And through us overcoming our mind, our emotions, you know, through our baptism, through meeting the people that we're connected with now, you know, for our brother Gideon, through, you know, brother Quinn, through the Freefromsin family, we've actually now grown all together. We're overcoming our minds, our emotions together, and we're all helping us to accomplish the things that, you know, we was always meant to achieve in this life. So I don't see it as a mistake, you know, that we know each other, that we're together, and if you persevere, if you look out for each other's needs, you know, me and Laurie both play a role in each other's lives. You know, I used to have lots of relationships with people, but I realised that sometimes in life you have to let go of the things that you think you love in order to grow. When the inner voice in you is telling you need to grow, this situation's not right for you, you can, with peace, you can just say, okay, the relationship, you know, I'm really grateful for what that taught me, you know, but then sometimes you let go of relationships in order to grow, and that's not a bad thing at all, because that's just life's lesson, is to let go of attachments. You know, if we let each other lead, then, you know, it will work out, you know, and it's been great. You know, we're working together, doing things that we never thought was possible, you know. And what's the relationships taught you as well, Laurie, about things that you've overcome?
So I liked when you said about, you know, a relationship. We're just being honest and authentic, even though we're business partners and we're best friends. So, like, as Michael shared, that we've had our challenges, we've had our arguments, and we've had difficult moments. But what has been, I think the reason us coming together as authors and podcasters and what we're doing in the world is to share from a man's perspective and a woman's perspective that you can have a difference of opinion at some times, but as long as you can find a way to overcome that, we speak, we're honest, we're authentic. And I'm learning about me, not only just about Michael. You know, there's probably times in relationships when I was with men that I wasn't the best. You know, I'd learned lots of behaviours. I had to shut myself off and hide or sulk. You know, that was all learnt behaviour from children. And when I grew up, so I'll share a bit about my childhood, which probably will make sense more in this video. So I grew up in the East End of London, brother, sister. The house was always full, nan, dad, aunts, uncles. It was a very busy house. It was fun at times, crazy, loads of animals, right in the East End, and we were kind of a well-known family. You know, we went to school, we had lots of friends. My mum was very popular. We had lots and lots of friends, but from a very young age, I think all of us wanted attention, and we would overtalk each other. We would overtalk, we would shout. We didn't have a role model to guide us, like a male figure, I suppose, that was there long enough to be able to discipline us, teach us good morals. So we, at times, we became like a bit feral. I use that word because I grew up with animals. So we'd learn how to overtalk or be unkind to each other. So there wasn't an awareness of a lot of compassion or kindness. You know, if we didn't get what we wanted, we would beat each other up. Simple as that. So what I've learned now, as I've become the teacher and author, what would we do things differently? If I could go back and live it all over again, how would I want to have been guided? You know, nothing wrong with what happened when I was a child. It all happened for a reason. For me to be able to look back and reflect and say, yeah, could have done better in those moments, could have been more, you know, kind, compassionate, caring, a great listener. That is a real good skill set. I never listened because no one listened to me. So I was like, don't want to hear it. That's how we all communicated. You know, we would all shout over each other, which then went on for me to lead to even have a little bit of not stutter, I'm not going to say, but I never finished my sentences. So, because I just wanted to get it all out quick and say what I had to say before somebody shut me down. So I think people at times probably didn't even understand me. But looking back now and reflected, everything happened for a reason. I've met the right people in our group and our channels and in our Freefromsin family, where we're all coming from a place where we want to help each other, nurture, grow, because we've lived a life, we've been on a journey. We're not perfect. We're never meant to be perfect. But I think, as Michael shared, we get programmed from a young age, and then if we're not aware about these programs, we go on to teach this to others, good or bad. So always be mindful and be open to for change and growth and transformation. So that, I mean, Michael, what would you say about, if you was to give someone a bit of advice moving forward, listen to this podcast, where could they start today if they want to build better relationships?
Well, I think it starts from within. So you have to learn to love yourself and not identify with what you've been programmed to believe about yourself. Because for me, every time in life, my relationships, I always felt misunderstood, like exactly the same as you, not listened to, but I always really cared about, you know, the world and people, no matter who treated me in whatever way. I still cared about them. I never wish harm on anyone. All I wish is for everyone to find peace. So I think it's just learning to trust yourself, to not attach yourself with your thoughts about who you are. If your thoughts tell you you're not good enough, that you can't do it, oh, don't do it now, you know, do it tomorrow, I'll do this, do that, things that are unbeneficial, that's your mind. Don't attach yourself to those thoughts. So learn to catch those thoughts and learn to realise that it's not you. And all you can do is try your best each day. If you care and love people, but it's also about the lessons of the people that are in your life that you had bad experiences with, which actually taught you valuable lessons. They're also like characters showing you, oh, okay, this is what a good relationship is, this is what a bad relationship is, and then you learn discernment, you know, over time. So don't people please. Do what you know is right for you. God will show you. He'll direct you to your purpose in life. We're not to compare each other. We're not to compare ourselves to anyone else. Like, you are loved. Like, you have a specific journey. You have a specific purpose while you're here. And if you live that purpose, the purpose that God has for you, because when we're born into this life, we're born kind of like without purpose. Like we eat, you know, we drink, we do these things, but it's the discovery and remembrance of who you really are. And God is within us all. And if everyone realised that, if we nurture the God in each other, and we see beyond labels, we see beyond judgment, then you will experience peace and we would all benefit, you know. And that's all it is. It's an illusion of separation. We're not really separate. So yeah, thank you. I think we're
beautifully said. So I'm just going to end this now with saying thank you to the listeners, and just to alliterate on what Michael said, love is the way. We're all one, we're all connected, and you know, let's all come together. If we want to do good in the world, we have to be the light.
Amen.
And help others. And if you like this podcast and you feel someone could benefit from this, you know, please share, join us, click the link below, which we're going to leave today. There's so much more what we can share with you. You know, so from me, Laurie, thank you. God bless.
And from me, Michael Strachan, thank you very much, family. We'll speak to you and see you soon.